Now, Spurs boss Thomas Frank is about to release a new book. He has confirmed that he had interviews with both Manchester United and Chelsea last year, but he wasn't offered either job. He has come out and said, "I am now at Tottenham. It is a crazy job and it is a crazy challenge." Now, Spurs are monitoring Antoine Semenyo, according to Sky Sports, and they have also stated that Tottenham want to sign a left-sided player in the January transfer window. And Spurs women boss Martin Ho has come out and said, "I asked for reaction and got it." And Spurs drew 0-0 at home against Arsenal in the WSL. Hi everyone, hope you're well. Chris Cowlin here. This is another episode of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. So let's start by talking about Tottenham Hotspur boss Thomas Frank. Now, the BBC and various other reports have stated that Tottenham boss Thomas Frank has come out and said he had talks with both Chelsea and Manchester United on the same day last year, and the Spurs boss is about to release a new book. Thomas Frank came out and said sitting down for interviews with two of the 10 biggest clubs in the world, 2 hours apart, is pretty unique. I know I didn't get either of the two jobs, but it was still a huge deal. Thomas Frank then goes on to say, "I remember walking through Battersea Park between the two interviews and thinking, Thomas Frank from Denmark, am I really experiencing this? I have repeatedly said that when we look back at our time at Brentford, it may be the best time of our football careers because the atmosphere we created together between the squad and the staff was unique." Frank then added, "Right now I have a crazy job and a crazy challenge at Tottenham. It is so much head down 24/7, 365 and just focusing on winning and moving things forward." A report has just been published by Sky Sports, and they are stating that Manchester City, Liverpool and Tottenham are monitoring Antoine Semenyo ahead of the January transfer window. The forward signed a new contract in the summer amid interest from a number of clubs, including Spurs and Manchester United. Antoine Semenyo has continued to impress other teams with his performances for Bournemouth this season, and bids when the new window opens cannot be ruled out. The report from Sky then goes on to say that contrary to reports, however, Semenyo has not asked to leave and is believed to have been annoyed by those claims. No move materialised for Semenyo in the summer as United signed Brian Mbeumo and Spurs brought in Mohamed Kudus, so Semenyo signed a new 5-year contract at Bournemouth until 2030. Spurs are looking at signing another forward in January, particularly one who can play on the left-hand side, while Liverpool and Manchester City are also thinking about new forward options in the long term. Now, on Sunday afternoon, the Tottenham Hotspur women were in action at Brisbane Road, hosting our North London rivals Arsenal. The game ended 0-0. Now, Spurs women, after this result, remain 5th in the Women's Super League table. Played 9, won 5, drawn 1 and lost 3. This is what boss Martin Ho had to say after the 0-0 draw.
Martin, 0-0 here this afternoon, a point and a very strong performance. First of all, what was your assessment of the game?
Yeah, a good response from the London City game from a defensive perspective. I thought we showed more about what we're about, how we want to defend, how we should defend, our behaviours were correct in a lot of moments, and I thought the second half changed a little bit, so it made us defend. They pushed a lot higher, they were a little bit more direct at times, so it made us have to do that work. But first half with the ball, I thought our organisation offensively was good. We broke their pressure quite well. We had some moments in our first half, and you maybe want one of them to go in these games because you don't get many chances against the top teams. But no, overall, the players have worked extremely hard and asked for a response, and I definitely got that.
Yeah, that first half, as you mentioned there, seemed calm on the ball. There's a lot of moments where we're playing out the back. Leeds are very composed in situations where you might get a bit nervy, and I guess that's a lot you can take from this game compared to likes of Man City earlier in the season.
Yeah, definitely. When you play these teams, you always want to come into the game to compete, to try and win the game. We're not coming in trying just to survive, and hopefully we showed that throughout the game. And then we've had moments, and Lisa's had a really good moment at the end in terms of saving. The back line and midfield have made some really big blocks and got in front of some balls where they've been travelling to goal. So no, we've asked for a big performance, and we definitely got it today.
In that second half, obviously you mentioned we had to weather the storm a little bit from Arsenal because they did come out with a bit of a tempo, but defensively it's a big difference from last week. And shout out to Claire, Toko, Amanda and Ash at the back along with Lisa for keeping another clean sheet. Yeah,
and I think it's important for the whole group. We defend from the front in terms of with the centre forward and through, and when we have to defend our half, it's usually that last line that maybe has to put that final block or get that final touch on the ball like Lisa did today. And I couldn't have asked any more. They've given me everything I've asked for in terms of response, and we now need to find the consistency with that, because if we turn up every week with that mentality and that application and that effort follows it, then I think we'll be in for a really good future.
Does this point just show you the progress that has been made in such a short space of time with you, but a lot of progress?
Yeah, and a lot of credit has to go to the staff and players behind me. It's not just me, and I have some wonderful staff that come in every week, put everything in place for the players to enable them to perform, whether that's physically through Hannah and Laura, if that's through the analytics staff through Sarah, if that's through my assistants, if that's through Chris from the goalkeeping coach from Lisa's perspective, Sam with all the operations, and Liz, Andy looking over the whole programme, and everyone wider from that. We put a lot of work in, and I want to make sure that it's not just me who gets these plaudits. A lot of the staff do a lot of work, and we have to make sure that them and the players get all the plaudits. I just have to stand there as the head coach.
And just a word on the fans as well. A packed crowd here at Brisbane Road. It was brilliant atmosphere from the first minute to the 90th. How much did they play an impact today to help us get over the line?
Yeah, they were unbelievable. And I think if I'm shouting and the players can't hear me, then it was definitely loud, and because I'm probably going quite a lot from the side of the pitch. So no, we can't ask any more. And I said this to the players: if we want more moments like this, if we want more fans attending our games on a consistent basis, then we have to make sure we continue to perform the way we did. And the fans aren't asking for perfection, but what they're asking for is when you put that badge on and you put that shirt on, that there's an effort, there's a commitment, there's a passion, there's a desire. And I think we definitely showed that in large parts today. And we have to make sure we keep bringing that, because if we want to grow this fan base and this team, and we want to be followed all over the UK, we have to make sure those performances are consistent.
Now, my thoughts on the three stories in this episode. Let's start by talking about the Sky Sports report stating that Spurs are still monitoring Antoine Semenyo. I tell you what, we definitely need a left-sided player in the January transfer window because we are really lacking in that area. Thomas Frank, of course, has tried a number of players in that area, and no one has actually really, concreted their place in the starting 11 on that left-hand side. Since Son departed for LAFC in the summer, I feel like that is an area where we are going to have to keep swapping and changing and giving players opportunities. And, like I always say about players coming in, you've got to take your opportunity and, grab it and make that position your own. But I do feel like we need a top quality player. When you've got Mohamed Kudus on one side, on the right-hand side, you need another really decent player on the left-hand side. And whoever's in the middle need to score goals and get the job done. And, wouldn't it be perfect timing for Dominic Solanke to come back and get on the score sheet a number of times on his return? Because, Richarlison isn't quite at that level where we need him to be, consistently scoring week in, week out, taking opportunities. So personally, I'm waiting, anxiously for Dominic Solanke to come back and, score goals in that final third. And ultimately, I believe that we do need a top quality, experienced player on that left-hand side. Antoine Semenyo, in my opinion, would be absolutely ideal. He is a top quality player, and he has got a lot of admirers out there, and I think the list is only going to keep growing. So if Spurs can somehow get a deal done for Semenyo, get it done, show the ambition, and bring in some top players with experience as well in the Premier League, because we know exactly what you're going to be getting with Semenyo. Now, Martin Ho on the Spurs women 0-0 draw against Arsenal. I spoke to him after the game, and he was absolutely delighted with that draw. And, many people would say, well, it's only a draw. What are you going to get excited about? But I tell you what, these games, a lot of people, particularly Arsenal fans and, general football fans, non-Spurs fans, I would say, a lot of people have always thought that these games, are pretty easy for a club like Arsenal to turn up and they're going to get the 3 points. But Martin Ho has made Spurs women a really difficult team now to break down and beat, and they are competitive. And the few months that he has been here, he has been absolutely fantastic. Him, his coaching staff, the players. We have seen a very, very different Tottenham women so far this season. So absolutely delighted to see that. And as he says, the consistency must be there. They've got to be consistent week in, week out, but it's been a very, very good start for them. 9 games played in the WSL. They've won 5. They've already equalled the amount of games that we have won already in November to what we did last season under Robert Villaham. And, Spurs women have got something about them. The aggression was really there Sunday afternoon at Brisbane Road. Long may this continue, and long may the great job that Martin Ho and his coaching staff are doing. Long may that continue. Exciting times ahead. Now let's talk a little bit about Thomas Frank, about to release this new book, and him coming out and saying that he had job interviews last year at Chelsea and Manchester United, and interestingly didn't get offered either job, but of course he is now Spurs manager. Now, I've absolutely no doubt that a lot of Spurs fans will be saying now, well, if he wasn't good enough to go to Stamford Bridge or Old Trafford, well, why is he good enough to come to Tottenham? And also he's come out and said it is a crazy job, it is a crazy challenge at Tottenham. Why would you choose to release a book in the November or December, whenever this book's coming out? I assume in the very, very near future, if we're getting extracts now through the media, and I've absolutely no doubt that we'll see more or hear more in the coming days, weeks, or even months. I just find this really, really awkward and weird timing, if I'm honest. And, why come out and say, I had job interviews at Chelsea and Manchester United, but wasn't given the job? Surely that is going to cause some sort of conflict. And that a lot of people will create a lot of noise about something like that you have written in a book. And, he has come out and said himself, it's a crazy job, it's a crazy challenge, so why give yourself any more noise or aggravation or problems, or creating more and more questions in press conferences, people questioning you, the fans questioning you, etc. I just find this really, really weird timing. I cannot wait actually to see and hear more about the contents of this book, which, I think will happen very, very soon. So watch this space. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy your week, stay safe and well, keep smiling, and come on you Spurs.